Hi everyone. This short video is on Still I Rise by Angelou, and its purpose is really just to recap the main language features that you may wish to write about and to give you some key ideas of what you could include in your upcoming English language coursework essay. So this is by no means a full analysis of the poem, it's just recapping the key features that I think you should be writing about in your essay, if of course you've chosen to do this text. So here are my top 10 language features for Still I Rise. Number 1, we have direct address. And we see this straight away in the poem. Angelou begins, and we know that becomes a structure point. You may write me down in history with your bitter twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. The use of you here immediately challenges the reader. We haven't been the ones that have oppressed Angelou, but the fact she directs the poem to us makes us question, well, how could someone do that? What is the effect of that on another person? It really challenges us to consider what impact these horrific actions have had on African American people, mainly through slavery. We also see here lots of rhetorical questions in the poem. We have 3 there just in one stanza. That point of the rhetorical questions extends what we've already seen with the direct address. Angelou's not just talking to us as readers. Did you want to see me broken, weakened by my soulful cries? She's really making us answer those questions, really making us consider how hurt these people were by these actions. We can see that with the word broken there. Angelou also uses similes throughout the poems. We've got I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. These 2 are quite important similes. Both of them have something in common. If you had oil wells and if you had gold mines, you would be enormously wealthy. She's walking confidently like she's got oil wells in her own living room. She's laughing like she's got gold mines in her own backyard. Both of these things have given her enormous wealth, and therefore they have given her freedom, something she never had before, but something she is determined to have in the future. So while she may not have wealth, being free feels like she is rich. It gives her that sense of wealth, because that freedom is so valuable to her. What we have as well, to extend that point about similes, is natural imagery. Angelou uses comparisons to like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides as well. I think she does this to reinforce the certainty with which that she will rise. The moon, it has a set cycle. The sun rises and sets every day for certainty, and the tides will do that as well. What she's trying to say is that's what she will be like. You can bet that she will return and rise once again, just like the sun does every day. But the fact she uses such natural images, I think, implies that it is almost natural for her to have the ability to be able to rise. And therefore, the implication is that slavery is inhumane, it's unnatural, it's been completely unjust and unfair. And now, without that pressure on her, she is free to rise naturally as she would have done before. We have allusions to slavery, and we see those in the poem here. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. So she's not just talking about her own personal past, but the past of her ancestors, those who have been enslaved by white Americans. These allusions are really important to the poem. Each of them have a key word. The first word is huts, and that just implies how small those houses were that her ancestors had to live in, and how unequal it was. The word rooted suggests just how strongly these memories of slavery are within her culture, how she's grown up learning about them, hearing about them. They are impossible to escape from. What we also have towards the end of the poem is juxtaposition. We have, in the final stanza, leaving behind nights of terror and fear into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. We have that juxtaposition here between the dark imagery and the light. And as we know, juxtaposition always heightens something. I think it heightens just how positive she's feeling about her future. I think it heightens just how strong she is to overcome those nights of terror and fear. Daybreak that's wondrously clear. There aren't any barriers anymore in front of her. It's wondrous because she's absolutely amazed. So where she had darkness before and she couldn't see the path ahead, now she has daybreak. It reinforces just how bright and how positive she's feeling about her future there. And that's done through that juxtaposition. We also have powerful adjectives that you can comment on as well throughout the poem. We have words like bitter and twisted as well. Those are really important. They suggest that these lies were really harmful, scornful, hurtful. The adjective twisted is really important because it suggests, obviously the word lie suggests they were untrue, but twisted suggests, as I said earlier, that they're inhumane, that they are completely unfair, that they're made up almost. The person saying them is almost psychotic, but they've been allowed to get away with it. Twisted suggests they're very purposefully trying to be harmful to this person. Their morality is all twisted, is what I'm trying to get at. The next one we're going to look at is powerful verbs throughout the poem. For example, we have, you may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness. These verbs are really, really important in this section. We have a bonus technique of anaphora, where we have successive lines begin in the same way. And then we have these verbs. Those verbs are all really violent. So while she isn't physically hurt by the words, she's not physically hurt by the eyes, she uses these metaphorical verbs, shoot, cut and kill, to get across just how harmful and painful these words and looks are to her. These are the words and these are the looks that she's had to cope with her whole life. The anaphora suggests that they can keep on doing this. You may. It doesn't matter because after all, she'll still rise. They can do as many things as they want to her, but she will ultimately rise. Then we have the use of personal pronouns that runs throughout the poem. Obviously, we've mentioned these already with the second person pronoun you, but what we also have is possessive pronouns, my, as we have here. Now, this person speaking in the poem is a very confident and defiant person. She's rewriting her life. She's talking about how she's going to be really defiant in the future and live the life that she wants to. We see a sense of pride through these possessive pronouns. Her haughtiness, her sassiness, her sexiness. She's taking ownership of these things. She is enjoying having these things. She is living her life independently, not because of what anyone else tells her to do, but she's choosing to do these things herself. She is taking ownership of her life. And finally, we have repetition of I rise throughout the poem, but also at the end. I rise, I rise, I rise. And that's how it ends. So structurally, the poem ends with the reminder that she's going to rise. The repetition suggests how determined she is. Even if she has, for example, something that stops her doing this, she's going to come back again and she's going to keep on doing it. The fact it's repeated at the end suggests how continuous this is going to be. It's ongoing. The fact it's in the present tense, not I have risen, I will rise, but it's I rise. It's in the present tense, it's continuous, it's ongoing, it's never going to stop. It's happening while we are still reading this poem out loud. Okay, so those are my top 10 techniques. Here are some key words that I would use for topic sentences for this poem. Some of them I've already mentioned already. A lot of these words you will have on your own annotated copy of the poem. The first word that springs to me is defiance. No matter how badly she's been treated before, she's standing up to those people who have oppressed her. And oppression is going to be my second word. What we have is determination. We also have a sense that she has been in a challenging environment. What we have is a sense of her power. What we have also is a sense of her beauty. She is proud of what she looks like. She is proud of who she is. This poem is very empowering to its reader. This poem is about injustice. This poem is about those who have abused their power. We talked about that with Inspector Calls. This poem features people who have abused their power and have trod people like Angelou into the dust. They have told bitter, twisted lies about them. This poem explores the cruelty with which she's been treated, the looks, the cuts, how those that stanza there with the anaphora of "you may shoot, cut, kill me." That's how cruel these people have been. But it really ends with a sense of self-confidence, and the poem really ends with a sense of inspiration and positivity. So your next step is, if you're writing about this poem, is to think about which of these ideas you think are most evident in this poem, which ones do you think you can prove, and you'll be finding the best quotations, the best language features you can to prove these ideas.